Live on the next Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, everybody. What's up, people? Welcome to the JB Show. Hello. Welcome to my show, also on Revolutionary Blackout Network. Welcome to every single one of you, and let you guys know that the JB Show streams every single Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RBN. You can also catch me on RBN Live on Tuesdays at 4 and on the Savvy and JB Show on Thursdays at 6. With me is my brother, my comrade, my brother from another mother, teacher extraordinaire, right? The dean. Let's call him by the dean of the school.
What's popping? It's been quite a while since I crashed the JB Show, so we're here. It's good to join my amazing, wonderful brother, who should have been a voice actor, by the way.
I love it.
Hollywood got fucked up, man. I missed out. Talent here, my brother JB. Hope you guys enjoy. This should be a good one.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because me and Nick are sipping on tea this morning. Well, this afternoon.
You guys know how to do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Before we get into anything, I was never a hot beverage drinker up until the last 6 months.
I got old.
Yeah. I don't drink coffee. I just never did.
I don't either.
And then one day I was like, man, I'm just in the mood for tea. So I made me some tea, and I made it really strong. And I was like, that first sip, I was like, after like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Is this why y'all drink coffee all the time? I get it now. So now I understand. Just letting y'all know.
See, I've never been a big coffee person, but I love tea. And I wasn't like, I'm like a big tea aficionado now. And I'm telling you guys, like 2, 3 years ago, I could not give a shit about tea. I just started waking up early in the morning. I'm like, God damn, fucking back hurts.
Wow.
But brain fog. Then I started drinking tea just as a way to remedy that. And now it works amazing. And then now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, oh shit, this is why Asian cultures love tea. This is why people in the UK drink tea just as a hobby. I'm looking at a lot of these brothers and sisters that not drink tea. I'm like, man, you guys are fucking up. You guys are messing up. This tea is powerful, man. Got some mango green tea right here.
Yep.
I have it every morning. Morning. So.
And also, just as a point, I was at a store that sells CBD oil. They also sell a little THC. By the way, so found out that the typical THC is actually a strain called Delta 8, which is illegal everywhere. But in Florida, Delta 9 is completely legal. And it has the same effect. And they sell Delta. I'm like, for real? I'm like, okay.
Have you ever had cannabis tea?
No, but they were selling it there at that place. But they were selling the Delta 9 strain though.
It's amazing, and I'm mad because me and my brother, we used to make canned tea all the time. But this was like 5 to 6 years ago, before I liked tea. So I remember when we used to drink canned tea, I used to like force myself to drink the tea. Because it was just that good. Now I'm like, man, I need to make some more canned tea, because now as a tea enthusiast, as a THC enthusiast, definitely need some canned tea in our lives. I need to make another batch, man. It's good. When I go down Florida, when we get to hang out, like me and Rome get to hang out, we gotta get some canned tea. It's gonna be a good time.
One thing that I want to, and let me get you before we because I want to get to the introductions to everybody in the chat too. But one of the things I wanted to ask you this is, do you think that in the future, I say probably within the next 30, maybe 40 years, we will start treating cannabis the same way we treat wine, like having wine tastings and things like that? Do you think that that's really going to take hold in the next 20, 30 years?
Yeah, most, at least especially in legal states like California. That's definitely what 30 years is gonna look like. Yeah, like, cause like people don't realize like rednecks smoke weed all the damn time. I live in Missouri. Like if you want to connect with someone, like all you gotta do is have a conversation about weed. They all smoke weed now. That's why it doesn't make sense. If any party just decided, like if the Republican Party or hell, even the Democrat Party decided to wake up one day and make legalizing marijuana and investing in that business their main platform, they would dominate. So yeah, to answer your question, I do think it's going to be similar to wine. Everyone does it. It is now becoming less stigmatized to use it, right?
Gotcha. Okay, great. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Also, if you have not liked the stream yet, please make sure to like the stream. And as well, if you are not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Just to let you guys know, of course, scrolling at the bottom, we also have our Patreon. So thank you to all the patrons on Patreon. We are deeply humbled and grateful for your support, for keeping the lights on here at RBN. So thank you so very much. Starting off in the chat, I want to say hello to Ghost Start. Thank you so much for sharing, and good vibes back to you as well. Robin is also in the chat here and accounted for. Robin, you are welcome, and please put your feet up. It's about to be a good time. All right. Desert Mantis is here saying greetings to everybody. All right. Eric Gray is up in here. Good to see you as well. Roman Smith here and accounted for. Good morning to you. Nick, oh, so good to see you here. Good to see you, my comrade, as well. YepX, so good to see you here. I by the way, I was able to read your pinned tweet. I am sorry about all that happened to you, but just to let you know, we're here to support you, whatever you need. And if you do need, some support, like as far as mutual aid, reach out to me, and then we'll spread it out, like warm peanut butter on a toast sandwich. All right. So we got you. Shout out to you, by the way. Savvy Sav is in the chat saying, good morning, comrades. Still in DC after attending March for Medicare for All. Absolutely. That was yesterday, March for Medicare for All. And look, if you guys didn't get a chance to go, maybe you guys can try to organize something in your area, in tribute to what they've done in Washington, or try to make plans for next year, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a march next year, the universe willing. So check in on that. All right. We going at the Tabernacle. Leroy, when we were talking about weed, you're one of the first people I thought about, because you're also a cannabis aficionado that I've noticed, and I'm not, and I got to work on that. So it's so good to see you here in the chat. Zach Davis also. Hey guys, please set up an official RBN email.
We got a website that's about to drop soon. So we just now get our shit together. We're a working class network. Like very proletariat.
Working.
So yeah. We finally got a website about to release. That was one of the big news I handed out at my last live. We also got a lot of great things coming up. We are still only 1 year old, and we are very broke. So as we get more support, we be able to do great stuff like that more often. So yeah, appreciate the support, Zach. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Also, Solgado, so good to see you. Bellas, so good to see you too. I had to do it in the voice, Neutron Star says, "What up, Nick and JB? So good to see you." Neutron Star. Ooh, that's powerful. Neutron Star. Solgado says, "I love extra spicy chai." I've never had that before. Have you ever had that?
It doesn't sound familiar, but I need to try it out because I'm gonna start trying out a lot of different tea flavors. I'm stuck in my ways. I'm an old man, so I like constantly drinking mango, lemon, green tea. But whenever I try a new like brand of tea out, it's always amazing. So I definitely gotta check that out. Definitely gotta
All
check
right, cool. Yeah, I gotta try that out too. All right, we have Yasmin. Hey, Yasmin, good to see you. As always, all right, always up in the chat, giving us the support like a real one. Thank you. Carlos Pena says, tea time. It's all a part of growing up and being British. Oh, thank you so much.
See, I told you guys, Jay should be a voice actor, man.
I would love to. Actually, you know what? I would love to do some type of voiceover for like a mutual aid group or a organization. I would love to do something like that. I would just do it for free, to donate my time, for that. So mutual aid organizations, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist organizations, if you're against wars, if you're against, the exploitation of people and you want me to be your voiceover, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it for free.
I remember,
you know what I'm saying?
I remember we had Ron Pacone on maybe like 3-4 months ago, and he was talking about starting a leftist, making a leftist movie. Do you remember that? And he was fundraising for a movie, and I was like, bro, if you make this damn movie, you better put me in it.
Yeah.
I think I can act. I remember I took theater in college, and
for real?
everyone was it was like one of them like electives that you could take, and I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Also, I already knew there'd be a ton of girls, and there was. And then I remember people be like super shy. We used to do like all these acting reenactments, and that shit was fun. I was like, bro, we in school acting and shit. We had no theater in my school. So anyway,
yeah, me neither.
Go ahead, David.
If I could go back in time, I probably would have took drama class back in the day. I think I probably would have been all right at it. So I actually something that I actually want to try and do. Either through voice acting or just doing acting in general. That's something that I would like to do.
I want to be that thug. You know, that thug that gets his ass kicked in every game, and not every game, but every movie. Like a Michael J. White guy. Like I want to be that guy, and you see me throwing kicks and shit. That's like I used to watch Jackie Chan movies in the day. I'm like, man, when I was a kid, I didn't care about being like a superstar. I was like, yo, I want to be on Jackie Chan's stunt team. That shit.
Nice.
Anyway,
yeah, I can see that though. That'd be pretty cool.
My ask every movie be funny, especially on Black. They probably cast me as some like Black thug every movie.
Actually, you know what? I got an idea.
Well, I can play a gangster guy. You ain't hear my gangster voice. I can do it. But go ahead, Jay.
No. I was thinking, oh my God, the director, he directed Sorry to Bother You. I'm forgetting his name. I'm blanking on his name, but he's a leftist like us. I would love to see a movie, a martial arts movie, where the hero is, an anti-fascist that beats up on fascists, and then he casts you as part of the role.
And guys, they always do pro-cop films, right? Why don't they do pro-union films, like a film about some guy organized to take on the ruling class? You notice that they never do those films?
Yeah.
You guys think that's an accident, but there's cop shows everywhere? Let me, guys, you guys want to know what movie they were missing out on? I never, maybe in Brazil they may have made this movie before, but do you guys know the origins of capoeira? The dancing martial art from Brazil?
Mm-hmm.
That originated because Afro-Brazilian slaves, they was allowed to get together and dance, but they wasn't allowed to get together and meet in general. So they used to meet like at night, and they used to pretend they were dancing to trick their slave masters, but they were actually learning self-defense. Bro, so what? There should have been a movie by now about one of the capoeira uprisings of you see Afro-Brazilians learning capoeira and the secret. Dude, that would have been dope. But instead, they show movies of us getting our ass beat, Black trauma, right?
Yeah,
that's what they prefer.
Yup, and then somebody gets shot in the street. Just like what was it? Don't Be a Menace, or no, it was one of those movies. But the woman comes out, and like just like in every Black movie, why my baby, why? She's on, he's dead on the street, and she's holding him, and she's crying tears. Gosh, I'm sick and tired of that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways,
and people love that movie. I still haven't, and you guys gonna get me for it. I still haven't seen Django Unchained to this day. Because I'm like, why the fuck are we keep watching slave movies, bro? I'm tired. I seen Roots when I was a kid. Like, white people are obsessed with watching black people get their ass beat. Like, I remember I saw it on TV one time. I turned it, and there was a scene where Jamie Foxx's character was being tortured. He was like hanging upside down, and dude was hitting him in the balls. And I'm like, bro, what the fucking? I know I'm weird, guy, but I'm like, what the entertainment value in this? Just watching this dude get tortured, black people being exploited, and violence being imposed on them. And I remember I felt the same way about Boys in the Hood as a kid. I'm like, I don't get why y'all people like this shit that much. You guys just watching movies of us getting fucking slaughtered. Like, they never know. Anyway, sorry, I'm not about to go. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I don't understand the appeal. I want to see that Capoeira movie. I want to see some slaves beating the shit out of a slave owner, right? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So let me see. Illustrative Carp and Company says, "Hola, my friends. Hola to you. Buenas tardes." Let me see. Roscoe is in the house. So Pena Brits stole it from China. Well, they stole a lot of stuff.
It'll take a whole live stream to talk about it.
Oh yeah, you telling me
what the Brits did? Like, what they did to India, and what bro, the UK empire has a lot to apologize for. Let's just say that. We'll go ahead, Disney.
Yo, and just as a side note, a lot of people slept on the new show Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus. Now, don't get me wrong. As a corporation, I hate Disney because they are exploitators.
There's no ethical consumption of capitalism, guys.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you this. They actually talk about British imperialism in the show.
That's dope.
When it comes to what they call the partition, basically how Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and India were all broken up into those different countries when it used to all be one India. And they actually talk about it in the show, which I was like, holy shit, they're actually talking about it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's dope. I saw, like, don't get mad at me, JB, because I told you guys I'm a nerd. I watched like the first 3 episodes and I kind of was done with it.
It's okay.
Just because I was mad as a nerd that they randomly changed Miss Marvel's powers. It's like they turned her to like this djinn. I'm like, what? Anyway, sorry, I don't want to nerd out.
Well, guys. Okay, no. Hang on. Let's hang on to this right quick because it actually mimics those same powers from the comics later in the show.
Really? So maybe I shouldn't have raised quick so fast.
Yeah, you only had like 3 more episodes to go anyway, because there's only 6 episodes.
So there was a lot of people, obviously, because the culture war, they was melting down, like, oh my God, Miss Marvel, this is not for me. Oh my God, they got Muslim women. You guys trying to pound it to the wokeness. And I'm like, that's not my criticism of the show. My criticism of the show is like, man, I saw her powers. I'm like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
I read a lot of comic books, so I knew the original Miss Marvel. So I saw the show, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing with this. But to be fair, they are pretty close to the comics in terms of how they portray her family and some of her. So that's cool. So I don't hate the movie. I just like, I don't hate the show. I'm like, man.
Yeah. But the woman who played her mother is the woman who played her mother is a good actress, because the character that her mom was, I started to dislike her in the first couple of episodes because I was just like, man, this lady is a wet blanket. She can't let Kamala have no fun. Man, I was so mad at her. But then towards the end, I saw her mother had a little bit of a character development. I was like, all right, man, her mom's kind of cool. I can rock with her now. So, I mean, she was a good actress. So I'm just saying.
I just remind you guys, before you guys get on us, that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism.
That's true.
So,
unfortunately,
if you do this thing, and I don't like Disney at all, but if you do the thing where you boycott Disney, but then you like watch Time Warner or something like that, like you're not escaping exploitation. You can't do it in this country. That's why you have to be a Marxist.
Yeah,
you try to overhaul the system. You can't like I don't shop at Amazon. Like I ordered one thing ever from Amazon, and that was like 2014, and I don't even remember what it was. And I remember I ordered it only because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying that to say that, oh, everyone must boycott Amazon. I just choose not to use it Mostly as a personal preference because I never was into online shopping. I'm kind of one of the people that I want to go somewhere and pick my shit up. So there's that too. But not everyone can boycott Amazon. Like, bro, if you live in the middle of like Mississippi or some shit, if you live in rural Florida, you're not gonna be able to avoid boycotting Amazon. So we gotta have that in mind. There's no ethical consumption under the system. We gotta advocate changing that, right? But anyway,
no, that's a good point. And a lot of times people will talk about, oh my God, you're watching Disney, you know, aren't you supposed to be a socialist? It's like, yeah, like you said, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. And do not, hang on. My thing is, do not come after me for watching Disney while you're sitting there watching ESPN and their highlights. Because they're owned by the same company. And then people will be like, well, I don't watch ESPN. And they'll be like, well, it's like, for instance, don't use electricity because they're using fossil fuels to power the electric power plants that power your house. So you can't get away from it. So the thing is that, you know, while we exist under it, we do our best to change it. You see what I mean? So just to, you know, add a buttress to your point. So
yeah, I think that is typical capitalist nonsense they use as a got you. Oh, you're a socialist, but you got an iPhone, even though we need iPhones to survive. I literally had jobs, like especially as a car salesman. Like if you're a salesman, you couldn't do anything without this shit. So that's a got you. They get in. They also say, oh, you anti-capitalist, but you watch Disney. Motherfucker, what are you supposed to? Well, you guys want us to live in a fucking hole in the ground? And Dr. Cornel West and many revolutionaries themselves say this. There has to be joy. There got to be enjoyment in life during this revolution. You can't just stick your head in the ground like, man, this society sucks. So I might as well not enjoy anything. That's not the smart way to live, right? So go ahead, Jamie.
By the way, thanks, Francis. Yes, I would love to get Boots Riley on RBN.
Dude, I was so close.
Really?
Let me tell you. I was so close to getting Boots. I'll give you guys a little exclusive here, insider thing. I was so close to getting Boots Riley. But then, like the person that there are people that like manage social, like his emails, his booking, and they was like, "Yeah, we think you like your show would be great to have Boost on." And then this person I was talking to, she was like, "You gotta kiss up to him a little bit, though. You gotta watch some of his movies, and then like you gotta make him interested in joining your show." So she was like, "If you want him to join, I can get a word in, but you gotta meet with them, and you gotta kind of gush him up." And I was like, nah, never mind. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not about to suck up to any motherfucker. If you want to help our movement now, he can help. But I'm not gonna fucking crawl and beg you, Sir Boots Riley, please join my show. Fuck that. So I was this close, and if I would have bit the bullet, if I would have sent an email to Boots Riley, tell him how much I loved him, I probably would have got it. But so that's that story. Because I mean, people asked us why we haven't had Boots Riley on the show, and I was so close. But then this person like, yeah, you gotta suck up to her. It may take a week or two. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, if you don't want to support Black Marxist Network, we're not gonna beg you. That's been my stance on all our guests. I'm not gonna beg nobody. You either support this movement or you don't. But go ahead, JB.
But part of me thinks that was sometimes, you know, you'll have assistants that will say stuff like that when really the person that their assistant probably doesn't rock like that. But his assistant probably, you know, messed some stuff up for them. Like, oh, you got to suck up to this person. It's like, and the person who's representing them, they're probably like, no, you don't. Like, why didn't you just tell me about it? You know, probably somebody like Boots Riley is probably like, man, I probably would have went on anyway. You guys didn't have to do that.
I don't blame Boots for that because I just knew someone who knew him. Then I got in contact with his assistants. I'm sure he's so busy, he's so famous. He get offers from people all the time. So I don't know, maybe he got some shit. I don't think it's his fault, but anyway, that's just the point. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, so everybody, welcome so much to the show. Now, of course, you guys came because of the title, right? And I titled it Yang's Forward Party Grift. Why did I entitle it that? Most of y'all know that Yang was never truly anybody that was on the left, right? But at the same time, when it comes to actual working class issues, worker issues, does he really actually even tackle some of these things? Like, for instance, everybody kept talking about because he got famous because of UBI, right? UBI, Universal Basic Income. While UBI on paper sounds good, it depends on how it's implemented that can benefit people or be a disadvantage to people, right? So, am I for UBI? Yes, but it depends on how it's implemented, right? Yang's version basically takes away social programs in place of UBI, whereas to me, that's detrimental. It should be added in addition to social programs, right? Because if you're going to do it, then you don't want to screw people over, especially people who are in my situation, right? So, like, for instance, I don't want you to give me UBI and then take my food stamps away. Because guess what? I need those food stamps. In fact, whatever you're proposing, I'm going to need triple, maybe quadruple of what you're proposing. Because truth be told, I can't survive off of even what they're giving me right now. I'm getting like a quarter of what I actually need. So, when it comes to the Forward Party, and plus I haven't heard any truly solid policy positions from this party. Have you, Nick? You're muted.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay. Let me show you. You want to see a tweet that I saw earlier that was hilarious? Mm-hmm. Look at this, JV.
Okay.
This is some fucking guy. He's the national organizing director for the Forward Party. This man said, criticizing the Forward Party for not having policy solutions.
Oh my God, really?
It's like criticizing Spotify for not releasing their own music. Spotify is a tool to distribute music. We're the tool to facilitate dialogue and consensus. Listening to Oasis CD on repeat. Want more options? Here it is. Look at the ratio, bro. 1,149 quote tweets. So I haven't seen replies yet. But you guys see, he's saying, yeah. He's like, yeah, we started a third party. Yeah, we don't have ideas. Why are you getting mad at us because we don't have any ideas? We are just to facilitate dialogue and consensus.
This dude has no idea what a party is.
What the fuck? Who is this dude?
Yo!
Bro, he's the national organizing director, JV.
Well, somebody's wasting their money. Let me tell you something. That is just like owning a record label, but you don't put out any music, and you're like, oh, but we're just recommending people from other record labels that you should go to. Then what's the point of having a record label, bruh?
Yeah, people are saying obvious.
He completely, he took his own point and it went over his own head. Somebody get their cousin.
Let me show you guys how ridiculous this is. I mean, it's obvious, right? I already see a lot of people saying the obvious. Like, I just scroll down just a little bit. This guy said, isn't the whole point behind political parties to offer policy solutions? It's literally the only thing that differentiates opposing parties. So that's the obvious thing on this, right? But and I'm sure you're about to get into this as well, JB. Let me tell you why this is bullshit. You see this line right here? We're the tool to facilitate dialogue and consensus. Hey, Will Conway, what does the word consensus mean? Yeah, as far as I understand, that means something that the majority of people supports. You got a consensus on the idea. Mm-hmm. So you want to know what idea has the consensus in this country?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I know what you're going.
Medicare for all. That's ding! So, you want to know else that has a wide consensus? Increasing the minimum wage.
Ding!
So not only is this tweet horrifically dumb, he's lying. Because if he actually was here to build a third party based on consensus, this party will support Medicare for all, increase minimum wage, etc., etc., free housing, all this other stuff that's economically popular, right? But they're not.
Bruh, look. Okay, I just looked it up, right? According to the dictionary, okay, from Oxford Dictionary, consensus means a general agreement That being said, if you go and you go issue for issue on working class issues, guess what? That means that there is a general consensus. The divide is not really left and right. The divide is top down. The thing is that the top is telling everybody below us what we should believe. At the same time, we're going, no, this is what we believe. But then the top keeps going, no, you shouldn't believe that. And there's a very small minority of them, and there's a great majority of us, which means in a democratic society, then the people who are at the top should not have a say what's going on with the rest of us at the bottom. GoStar says 70% of Medicare for All consensus nationwide. That's not among Democrats. That's not among Republicans. That's not among independents. That is across the spectrum. That being said, they do not have it on their platform. We looked. They don't have it on their platform. Why? You know why, Nick.
You discussed UBI earlier, and I was thinking like this is not even necessary because Andrew Yang literally abandoned the primary policy idea that made him popular. The party doesn't even support UBI, Andrew Yang's main policy proposal. They don't support it. They don't support paid family maternity leave. We talk about legalizing marijuana as well. All these popular policies. So they claim it's about creating dialogue and creating consensus, but the consensus is here. And this is the difference between our coverage and people who are deeply unserious. The people who are deeply unserious, which is like 95% of the people with a political platform in this country. You guys want to know what 95% of people with a political platform in this country says, JB? You want to know the myth that they keep repeating? They're this myth that, oh my God, there's no bipartisanship. Americans keep fighting. No, there's two camps: the ruling class, the bourgeoisie, and then the proletariat. Among the bourgeoisie, there is no disagreements. They agree on war. They agree on escalating with China. Breaking Point just did an unhinged segment saying that we should escalate war with China because of Taiwan. Breaking Point. The people consider so among the bourgeoisie, there's no disagreement. They all agree with deregulating Wall Street, endless war. And among the proletariat, we all want health care. We all want increased wages. There is no disagreement. But go ahead, JB.
Let's pick this apart, bro.
Go ahead.
Because you're here and you're very policy minded, which is one of the things I love about you, bro. We're gonna pick this thing apart. Let's go. All right. Hang on. This is their website, right? Okay. Let's go to platform. Okay. Platform. Because I don't care about any of the other BS. I want platform. I want your policies, right? Platform. It says more unites us than divides us. 4 priorities. And it's this is so politician-y. America, just think about this in Barack Obama's voice. Americans can fix any problem. That's why Forward is approaching a platform differently. The rigid, top-down, one-size-fits-all platforms are the outdated political parties are drifting towards the fringes, making solutions impossible. We stand for doing, not dividing. That means rejecting the far left and the far right and pursuing common ground. Now, what common ground is that? Right? Because I'm really curious as to, what that common ground is, right?
Their whole party is all about civility politics.
What, like, I'm trying to find like their policy positions, and I'm just like, it's like, okay, bottom up, not top down. What does that mean, right? The Forward Party leaders to find solutions that work in their communities. We won't dictate a rigid top-down policy platform and expect it to work for all Americans. That's what different parties are for. That's what having multiple parties is for.
They're like, we're going to take your money, but man, don't ask us to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't ask us to have ideas.
Yeah. And when you say people talk about purity tests, I'm like, You mean standards? You mean standards,
What?
right?
Wait, they said no.
They said no purity test.
What?
None.
Wait, JB, sorry, I'm sorry. So hold up. No purity test? So they created a party and it was like, we're gonna have no standards. no modus operandi, no standards whatsoever. Holy shit, I did not realize this party was this cringe.
Yeah, hold up. Now, it says no purity test. It says more listening, less talking.
What I mean?
Yeah, it's like the Forward Party will ask you what we can do for your community.
Medicare for all.
It's like, wait a minute. That's what the politicians are supposed to do.
And
that's what they're supposed. Oh my god!
And the thing is, they're bullshitting too. Like, bro, all this flowery language, which sounds great. They have a policy platform. If you all about listening and less talking, you guys know what I did? I traveled to South Carolina. I would knock door to door. I was speaking to some of the poorest people in the country. You want to know what they told me? They told me, "Hey, yo, we need fucking healthcare. We need infrastructure. We need clean water. Hey, Yang, why aren't you like you would have a policy platform if you was listening?" So the whole idea you saying more listening, less talking, you are quite literally not listening. You are literally not listening to what we are saying. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. I mean, I'm literally look. I was like, hey, so Savvy a few days ago covered this site, right? She went on here. I literally saw the tab for UBI as part of the policy platforms. I'm wondering, maybe it's just me, maybe it's user error, but I can't find it right now. I can't find, like, look, ranked choice voting, this was there. Nonpartisan primaries, this was there. Independent redistricting commissions, that was there, right? And supposed to be below it, you're supposed to be able to also see, I think there's like 3 others. But UBI is no longer there. Read our core principles. If you click on that, it goes to this. Why forward? And then it talks about diverse thinking and bottom up, not top down. No purity. The same thing that we just saw earlier, right?
I have a question.
And
I have a question. You see how they say just scroll up a little bit. Oh wait, hold on. Well, let me go back. See how they said no purity test?
Yeah.
Let's scroll up a little bit. Let me explain to you guys why the whole idea of having no purity test makes no sense. So if you have someone in your party, you see how the one up says bottom up, not top down. What if someone who was a member of your party who said, "Hey, yo, I believe in top down, not bottom up"? What if you see how below that you said more listening, less talking? What if you had someone in your party that said, "Actually, I think we should do more talking, less listening"? What do you guys do? Do you guys change your platform because you guys had no purity test? Do you guys see how stupid that is? Let's go down again. Work together, not against. What if someone in your party like, "Hey, I think we should work against, not for"? You guys see why the idea of no purity test is ridiculous? Because if you say you have no purity test, that alone undermines the rest of everything you're talking about. Because someone can just join your party, disagree with a main core tenet, and then you like, and if you try to cancel, I thought you guys said no purity test. That's what the Democratic Party do that to us all the time.
So right? let's say hypothetically they adopt universal health care, but then somebody comes in the party and says, "No, I think we need to privatize it." Are we supposed to just now say, "Oh, you can stay in the party because you want to privatize it," even though that goes against the majority of everybody in the party? And here's the crazy part. When you listen to all this that the Forward Party is saying, I don't see a difference between Democrat and Republican parties from this. I don't see a difference because Democratic Party is also like, we want to be a big tent party. Doesn't that sound like the Forward Party to you and me?
These motherfuckers because Andrew Yang takes on Israel was horrific.
Oh yeah, he was.
So they were like, I know Washington is filled with a bunch of warmongering Zionists, capitalists, but let us offer you another alternative. We got a new party that is also Zionist, capitalist. Like what the fuck are you offering? So as someone who's an enthusiastic third party advocate, I believe that we should support third parties because if you are going to the Democratic or Republican Party, there is no anti-imperialist vote, right?
Yeah.
There is no universal healthcare vote. There's no pro-human vote among two parties. So in order to have a resistance against that, instead of not voting, we should vote for a third party so the people can see that, there's 10% of this population that is giving the establishment the middle finger. What is the point of a third party that quite literally agrees with everything the Republican and Democratic Party does? I actually know the answer to this, JB. You want to know?
Please.
You guys want to know what it is? You guys know I just come up with theories, right? This is a theory that's been bouncing around the skull for a while. So there was a poll that showed from Mammoth that showed for the very first time, 50%, Savvy's in the house, 50% of voters are independent. A record amount of Americans are supportive of a third party. So Andrew Yang is not being anti-establishment with this party. The point of this party is to confuse otherwise anti-establishment people. Because remember, not everyone is engaged and as tuned in as we are. There are some people that may just be tired of the two-party duopoly. They may not be able to explain it. They're just so busy working. They have kids, but they know they just want to vote for a third party. So they may go to the booth. They just see Andrew Yang third party. That third party is there to siphon votes from other third parties because the establishment sees that 50% of voters are ready for a third party. Mm-hmm. So Andrew Yang has no intentions of winning, which is clear. Mm-hmm. He had no intention of having a functioning third party. His job is just to be there on the ballot to pull votes away from the Green Party in the Libertarian Party, which I hate, but that's their job. That is what they're here to do. Mm-hmm. That's why they don't have a policy. They're not here to shake up dialogue, find a consensus for the working class. They're here to be a giant distraction to pull people who otherwise who may not be as informed, but they know they got to break the two-party duopoly. That's the role of Andrew Yang and his party. That's why they got billing their funding. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, so I wrote down some notes that I wanted to say, and you actually just went to it, which I am grateful. No. There's some notes that I have here that I just wanted to. That it's basically like a statement, because after thinking about this, so here it goes. The emergence of a forward party sounds to me like a gigantic grift. The reason why is because it seems to be cashing in on the angst of U.S. citizens because of the duopoly, by keeping all of us within the same policy, but keeping us all within the same policies of the duopoly. When you go issue by issue on different policies that favor working and poor people, those policies have a majority support. Really, the primary issue is workers having more power in this country on healthcare, education, housing, democracy in the workplace, public safety, and privacy. The duopoly focuses on giving this power to the corporate oppressors and the ultra wealthy because they think they know what's best and are regarded as better suited because they managed to exploit us successfully instead of the rest of us looking to collaborate and cooperate instead of compete. To say the Forward Party is a grift is an understatement. And so basically that's what I wrote down, because I'm like, no. Everybody, like, look, don't you find it funny that ever since Andrew Yang started this third party, you heard more about third parties regards to the Forward Party than you ever heard from PSL, Socialist Alternative, the Green Party, the Liberation Party, Libertarian Party. I mean, I don't agree with Libertarian Party, but they're a third party too. You don't hear them getting talked about. So here's the thing. Being on the fair side of things, and then on top of that, they never ever want to talk about, and I love when Savvy Sabs brought this up. When in the hell have they ever brought on Matthew Ho to talk about what the Democrats are doing to him as a Green Party candidate in North Carolina? They don't bring it up, but yet they want to bring on Andrew Yang for his grifting third party. Why? Because no, I'm gonna put it right.
Go ahead, JB. Go ahead.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Because it's the Forward Party. I'm gonna be real with you. Is a device made by the duopoly in order to bring you back into it. That's all it is.
You nailed it, brother. You nailed it. I was chomping at the bit to go because you're such on point. And speaking of Matthew Ho, he was just illegally purged from the ballot. It is North Carolina. What state is he? What state? Do you remember?
North Carolina. Yeah, I
Okay,
had him on a couple weeks ago here on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it. So they did this the last election when they legally kicked Green Party candidates off the ballot in Wisconsin and in Texas. Green Party is on the ballot in my state. I'm lucky enough. So there's a coordinated effort for the Democratic Party to kick Green Party candidates off the ballot, and then they want to replace it with Andrew Yang's Forward Party because they want the Forward Party to be the only representation of third party. And as we explained, their third party is cringe. So they want people to automatically associate third parties with Andrew Yang and his party, which is cringe. I already seen this, JB.
Yeah.
Third party eraser, where people are pretending that, oh my God, you're a third party voter, you supporting Yang Forward Party. And then there was some other person. Shit, me and CJ was just talking about this. There was some person that was saying, I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't remember, but in the last Nick and CJ episode, there was this guy say, yeah, third parties sound good if there was a left alternative, but third parties are filled with Trumpers and corporations and billionaires. And our reaction to that was, what the fuck? You never heard of Jill Stein, the Green Party? So my point is, and I pass right to you, JB, they are trying to erase the Green Party and any third party by kicking them off the ballot and then having the Forward Party as the only option. And then people were like, oh, shall I vote Democrat, Republican in this? But go ahead,
that was Rokana you were talking about, because Rokana was like, they have billionaires in third party. I'm like, where, bro? Where? Like, Rokana, please point to me where they have billionaires in third parties. I'm talking. Wait, you talking about Ralph Nader? Oh, I never seen him with that much money. Jill Stein, Cynthia McKinney. You want to talk about third party people? Delilah Barrios. I don't think she's a billionaire. I don't think she's a millionaire. She's damn only a thousandaire. What about Thomas Wakely? What about him? What about Matthew Ho? I don't see him having billions of dollars. So like, who are you talking about? Because Rokana suddenly, for some reason, he's thinking way back to Ross Perot, but he is one out of how many people that have ran third party? Really? Like, no, dude, you lost the plot. There are way more billionaires in the Democratic and Republican parties than there ever will be in a third party. Way more. So he needs to take an L on that one. Like, for real talk.
And that's a side that's going on because we are in 2022. Yeah. And I told you guys things are going to get very interesting because now the Democrats are melting down and they are trying to demonize third parties. I got a clip to show you guys here soon. JB, you got anything else you want to share? Because I want to show you guys a clip of Democratic Party members melting down at the idea of a third party. Do you have anything else you want to share, JB, on the Yang party before I share that clip?
I got a few things. One of the things that I want to
I won't say that too after we're done with the Yang segment. So
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let me. All right. So you're gonna hate me for this, Nick, but I'm sorry. I got to show this. My bad, man. I love you, but actually, you know what? Let me do this really quick first, because I need to explain myself. I had made a tweet a while back. What happened to it? Oh, hang on. I had made a tweet a while back, and some people thought that I was, I guess, trying to say that Yang's party was something that was good and viable, which is not exactly what I was saying. But I just want to take a time out to explain what I meant. And I think you'll know exactly what I mean. I had it up here for some reason. I don't know what happened to it. Hang on. I got it coming up. But yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here it is. So this sounds I explained this poorly, but it sounds bad, but I'm gonna give y'all a good explanation. Hang on. Oh, thanks, Michael Pino, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. All right, so here's what I said. It sounds cringe, but I'll go with it. So I quote tweeted, Christian Martin says, "What is your opinion on Andrew Yang's Forward Party?" And he put out a poll. I said, "It is crazy how Andrew Yang is doing what many of us thought Bernie Sanders should have done after the primaries. Surprising how Bernie has more devotion to the duopoly than Andrew does. What a twist."
Oh, that's bro. That's base as fuck. What?
Now,
people mad at me for that?
People got mad at me for that because
that's base.
What? Yeah, because people were like, some people were like, is there a reason that Bernie has to do it all by himself? And I said, no, he had the best chance at the time, but he abandoned his movement. I got some people who are followers of mine who I do love you and have solidarity with you, but I disagree on saying that Bernie didn't abandon his movement. He did. And so unfortunately, we're going to have to agree to disagree, I guess. But looking at what Bernie did, he had no desire to truly speak truth to power because he relinquished his power. He relinquished his movement because he basically said, oh, well, when push comes to shove, we just got to get rid of Trump. But really, he just didn't want to go the way of Ralph Nader. And he even told that so much to Chris Hedges. So
when they held protests at the DNC for rigging the primary in 2016, Bernie Sanders should have stood with those people. Those are the people who volunteered. These are the people who these are not average people. These people travel to the fucking convention for you. And Bernie gave him a middle finger.
Yeah. And this person, Aggressive Progressive, says, not the best take I've heard from you. Bernie is committed to do whatever he can to fight for the people
Jesus fucking
and proves
Christ.
it to every life. Yang is a grifter, another AstroTurf movement. And while I agree that Yang is an AstroTurf grifter, I do not think that Bernie is as committed as he used to be because he has drifted away from his original plan of really being an independent. He caucuses with the Democrats because essentially he's a Democrat. He may not be one on paper, but he continuously goes with the Democratic Party because Bernie thinks that the Democratic Party is the lesser of two evils, when now we're seeing that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are all one party. They're both the exact same evil. And I don't think that Bernie actually realizes that, because I think that he's been so absorbed by the Democratic Party that he really is just like, well, no, they're better. No, they're not. Maybe on social issues, rhetorically, but other than that, no. And so what I meant was, and I'll say it in a second to it, I said, to explain what I mean, Yang's grift makes Bernie look more weak in regards to pushing for a more woke-centered movement, even though Yang is just as, if not more, devoted to neoliberalism and giving breadcrumbs to the poor and workers. I'm looking at the optics of it primarily, basically meaning that what did we say? We said that Bernie Sanders should have, as soon as he lost the primary, got off the Democratic ticket, either went independent or went third party, and then continued in the race. That's what we were saying to do. And even if he didn't continue in the election, then he should have just went outside of the Democratic Party, started a third party with his popularity and with his movement, and then he would have gotten a whole lot of people, not just from the Democratic Party, but he also would have got independents and Republicans. But he didn't, because his devotion to the Democratic Party is so strong that it actually made, optically, Andrew Yang look better than Bernie, even though we know Andrew Yang's a grifter. And so this is how bad it looks, that it makes Andrew Yang seem more appealing to people, that he is willing to buck the duopoly. He's not really, but it makes it seem that way. And Bernie's still staying in the Democrats. So that's what I meant. It's really showing basically who Bernie Sanders is and who Andrew Yang is. So I'm not saying that Andrew Yang is better. I'm saying he's using the optics to make himself seem better when really he's not. And it makes Bernie look like He's just a standard issue establishment Democrat. So that's what I'm saying. And it looks really bad optically, and some people are like, oh, well, but Bernie's trying. It's like, really though? Really? So that's my thing. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to clarify.
And this was a great segment, so I'm glad that you did that. Mm-hmm. But as far as I'm concerned, you had absolutely nothing to clarify because this opinion was based. And when I saw like the few comments that I put back on you, like the one that you showed before, where the dude was like, Bernie trying his best to fight for us. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you said that was wrong. Bernie, we had a fucking Medicare fraud march, and he didn't show up. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
The kids in cages, he's not talking about them.
Yeah,
Biden is expanding he's finishing Trump's border wall. Bernie, silent on that. You remember how Bernie's whole thing was ending the genocide in Yemen?
Yeah.
Biden, I'm about to do the story tomorrow, is sending more troops to Yemen. Where's Bernie on this? And you got people that's still defending Bernie. Let Bernie go. I still get email lists from fucking Democrats on my phone because there's only one politician, because I work on this campaign, that was ever on the email list. And I get texts from Democrats all the time because he gave them your email list.
Mm-hmm.
He is for funding the police more, which is the Democratic Party's policy platform. So let Bernie go. You guys are weakening the movement by having this emotional attachment to this guy you guys see as your fucking dad or something.
Yeah.
He has abandoned y'all a long time ago. Why are you guys still defending him? So JB is nice, but I'm telling you how it is. All the people, the few comments I saw in here are shit libs who still are obsessed over this guy who sold us out a long time ago. And your take, there's no flaw in it. It's base as hell to me. I remember when we talked before the show, you was like, man, I gotta talk about this tweet. People was mad at me on the tweet. I would think like, damn, JB, what you say, man? Hopefully you didn't say no shit lib shit, JB. That's what I was thinking in my head. Now it's on this Twitter, like, bro, what the fuck? How they mad at you for saying something that is true as fuck? That's all I'm gonna add. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just the thing is that. But no, it just feels like, it was misconstrued as to what I said. And I'm like, no, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I'm not saying that Andrew Yang's party is anything that's legit or good or is not grifting. I'm saying that it is. And so, I'm just looking at it, from the optics point of view.
And you were saying that Bernie should have did that. And there's so many liberals on Twitter who they lack any sort of nuance, any critical thinking. They thinking that, like, to me, when I read this tweet, it's clear to me that you're not endorsing Andrew Yang. It's clear. But then people pretending that you are, it's just so many of these fucking people, they lack critical thinking skills. They're just dumb. I'm sorry. And I learned, especially ever since RBN, ever since we got this platform, I learned a lot from our brother CJ. CJ, you guys heard him say many times that he's the I don't give a fuck member of RBN. And I learned a lot from my brother CJ. Like, if I feel like I'm right and I'm making a great point and I'm coming in good faith, I don't give a fuck what these shit libs are melting down about. I just tweeted today, I'm like, bro, like, there are Democrats that are complaining that third-party voters cost Democrats the election. And my response to that is like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the opinions of liberals who are imperialists, who are for funding the police more. And if you are still defending Bernie, like, I was one of them, guys. I was one of the people I worked on the Bernie campaign, right? So I admit that I fell for it at one point. But in the year 2022, August 1st, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 1st of August, 2022, if you are still defending Bernie Sanders, like, I'm moving beyond you. We're trying to build a working class coalition that is not brainwashed by the two-party duopoly. You guys are hurting the working class. But JB, do you want to talk?
No. Hashtag let Bernie go.
Yep.
Y'all gotta let him. I gotta let him go, man. And you got to realize that a lot of us have moved past Bernie. We are beyond Bernie now. Yeah. So that's my thing, And the thing is that and everybody remember when Kyle Kalinske used to call Bernie dad. Remember that? Remember when Kyle Kalinske on his show used to call Bernie dad? He's like, he's our dad. that was basically a lionizing, a deifying a politician that really shouldn't have never been deified in the first place. But that being said, like, no, we are not going to continuously, allow someone to be deified. Did you hear what I said?
Called Bernie's dad.
Yeah, remember that? Remember that? Or some people call him Grandpa. I'm like,
oh Jesus fucking Christ!
And real talk, no cap, I fell for it.
Oh my!
At the time, I did. I'm gonna be real with you, but at the same time, now I'm thinking about. I'm like, why are we deifying? Why are we lionizing these politicians when, number one, who voted for the Afghanistan war? Right? Who just recently voted, to send more weapons to Ukraine?
Teal Bernie.
Yes.
That's really
AOC was like Theo Bernie. I'm like, get the blabama, mommy. What?
Oh,
yes.
Jesus Christ.
Because I'm like, what? Are you kidding me right now?
Dude, that psyop has been. I like completely blanked this shit out.
Theo Bernie.
Dude, the fact that AOC and Kyle Kalinske got us relating politicians as family members, holy shit, they are really good at this propaganda nonsense. Like the establishment wish they could have pulled that off. Having people calling people Daddy Obama. The establishment wish they could pull that off. But you know who did? AOC. Teal Bernie's a thing. Kyle Kalinske calling him daddy every day. God damn, that is so cringe. I am literally shaking. That's so cringe.
Yeah, it's very cringe when you think back on it. This was back in 2019 and 2020. The
thing is, you say you fell for it, and there are a lot of people that fell for it.
I did.
But dude, this dude was a political commentator for, at that point, like 10 years. Like guys, I want to emphasize, I've been a political commentator for like 2.5 years now, or only been around for about 15, 16 months. And I had my ups and downs. I learned some lessons, right? But that's over the course of 2 or 3 years. This motherfucker was a political commentator for like 15 years, still getting things horrifically wrong, which is crazy to me. But sorry, go ahead, JB.
Oh yeah, and also I hate to do this to you, but we gotta get on this, man, because here's my problem. Is it this one? Yeah. We have to go to Bill Maher.
Oh shit.
I know. Yep. We're gonna clown on Bill Maher. You ready? All right. I'm not even gonna read the caption. Shout out to Case Study QB. If you're not subscribed to him, what the hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to Case Study QB. But my brother, look, I have so much respect for Case, because Case has to sit through this stuff and is cringeworthy all the time. My brother's doing the Lord's work. But let's hear this, and I'll meet you on the other side. Ooh, Nick, you're going to cringe.
Joe Biden is not a radical. I mean, he's just not. And he was put forward as the Democratic nominee precisely because
he bends it to the radical.
He has been, yes. And I think that's part of what's.
Did you hear what he said? He said he bends to the radicals.
Oh my fucking God. This country is filled with deeply unserious morons, man.
Let's continue. Oh God.
What's been a problem from his president is that he's raised these expectations by, saying, yeah, let's do all this $2 trillion bill.
Social media makes all this different, though, and I think that there's a possibility that social media could create a furor, a united group of people constantly whipped up to stay together who are actually in this middle. It would be a matter of branding, but maybe those forces that, for example, kept Perot as a marginal figure could actually make a difference this time because of what Twitter in particular is like. It really creates a whole new world. It would depend on the branding and the charisma. But I can imagine that maybe it would be different this time because of these things in our pockets and the way it unites groups together. It can create a new group, in other words.
Well, I think what would happen, my prediction, is you could have it like a sensible middle party, and it would then
Jesus fucking Christ
force the Democrats to go back to being the sensible middle party.
Now,
And
they clap. A sensible middle party. Doesn't that sound like he's trying to, I don't know, endorse a party from somebody who ran as president, back in 2020, and he's probably like, "Oh, we need something sensible in the middle." What does that sound like to you, Nick?
This motherfucker endorsing the Forward Party. We just covered this, man. It's so depressing when you see like these people who have platforms that is way bigger than ours, infinitely times bigger than ours, but deeply unserious conversations. Where he said Joe Biden is appealing to the radicals. You mean the guy who's that proposed a new crime bill? The guy who's finishing Trump's border wall? The guy who's funding the military more? Yes, he's appealing to extremists. He's appealing to neocon extremists on the
Exactly.
right. Do you guys know that in this whole conversation, no policy discussion whatsoever?
None.
Once again, I cannot emphasize this motherfucker's got platform is way bigger than ours. There's only like a small percentage of people in U.S. politics that are serious.
Yeah.
Like 1%. That's our being in our community, in our allies. No policy debate. Just Joe Biden and appealing to the radicals. That's how I feel. That's the vibe. I'm going with it.
Yep. Let's finish this out. Oh God. Let's finish it.
Sensible middle party. And they would, because they would see that's where, Biden reminds me of some grandfather, and when AOC and the woke people come into his office, he just goes along. He doesn't really understand it. It's like, Grandpa, can we have money to go?
Is that how you think government works?
And he's like,
as established he is, and as knowledgeable as he is as the inner workings of government, this sounds like somebody that just stepped into following politics for about 2 months. That's what that political analysis sounds like to me.
And he had a show since the 90s.
Yes.
Literally since the 90s, he had a show. And that's
really
how he believed that Washington, D.C. works. Do you guys just hear what he said? He said that Joe Biden is like a grandpa, and AOC comes to him like his granddaughter, and then she's able to convince him to agree with her policy. No examples. This ignores the fact that Joe Biden has a cabinet, right? Like, bro, he has a fucking cabinet and a team of advisors. And you guys think he listened to AOC over his neocon advisors? You think he listened to AOC instead of Anthony Blinken? Instead of Lloyd Austin? Instead of Larry Summers, his financial advisor? This is an unbelievably cartoonish way of viewing politics. And like a comment I just saw, Natalie, I see you, said Bill knows exactly what he's doing. And I do want to bring up this one last point. I'll pass right back to you, JB. You know the crowd clapped, right? There's a part of me where I want to look at these motherfucking shit lives. But to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it again, like when he said we need to have a third party that is more based on rational thought in the center, there may be some people in the audience that clap because they thinking, we need a party that support Medicare for all. Everyone agrees on that, right? But that's not what Bill Maher means. Bill Maher is talking about civility politics. No policy whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah.
Now you guys know why people like Nancy Pelosi is 90 years old, damn near, fucking incoherent, and she keep winning elections. Dianne Feinstein, incoherent, broken brain, keep winning elections. Matt Gaetz winning elections. You guys think this is why. Like George Carlin said, it's not just the politicians, it's everything around it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that people who listen to this dude think he's legitimate. It's the people. God damn. Well, go ahead, JB.
Yeah. Let me finish this up.
Just take, I don't know what Fortnite is. I don't know what TikTok is. Just get out of my hair, And that's really okay.
And then, gosh, there's another.
Capitalists are deeply unserious.
They are very deeply unserious. Now, there is also who's also part of the Forward Party. Former Congressman David Jolly, who was a Republican. So, oh gosh, oh goodness, I don't know. I just don't know, man. Oh gosh. Now, this is about the policies of the Forward Party. I want you.
Let me see.
Yeah, I want you guys to tell me in the chat what policies that David Jolly actually lists. Particular policies.
You made this point before, but I just want to emphasize this again because I didn't see this clip. He's on MSNBC. Do you guys ever see Angela Walker on MSNBC? Oh, see, you the first ever. You run to be one of the first ever Black female vice presidents. They don't want to interview her, but they interview the Forward Party people.
Yep.
Isn't it obvious that this is an establishment trick? Like we mentioned way before I even seen this. But go ahead, JB.
Yep. But I and Nick, I want you to try to pick out any policy position that David Jolly lists. Any particular policy position. Let's go.
David Jolly's with us, former Republican congressman from Florida, chair of the Serve America movement, which merged into this Forward Party. David Jolly, thank you. But before we get into why you think this is actually going to work, what's the policy going to look like?
Okay, Shep Smith just asked, what policies are going to look like? Listen to what David Jolly says.
Yeah, so look, this is a new kind of party, Shep. This is the bringing together of left, right, and middle. Consider that. Not a party that says our ideology must be conservative or moderate or progressive.
What's the policy?
It actually celebrates pluralism and recognizes that the ideologies and politics of, say, Boston, Massachusetts are different than Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay,
and
what's the policy?
if we can coalesce around a commitment to problem solving and shared values and push decision-making down to the communities that elevate their representatives.
Okay, what's the policy?
We actually believe that's the fundamental premise upon which the entire nation, our democracy, was founded. So this is
so that I understand, decisions will come. So that I understand, the decisions will come from the bottom up. In Birmingham and in Boston, they will send their ideas up, and then what?
That's right.
And then what?
That's exactly right. Well, we believe what the country needs is elected representatives that actually put their communities first, not their party. And all major and minor parties today, Shep.
You guys got any policy positions yet? Found any yet?
You want to know what he described, JB? JB.
What's up?
You want to know what's funny?
What up?
You guys want to know the idea and concept that he's describing? He's describing the dictatorship of the proletariat. And Marxist ideas go to the community and the community decides. That is the dictatorship of the proletariat. You are a capitalist, sir. You do not believe what you're saying. The reason why I got that flag behind me, because that flag represents the dictatorship of the proletariat. This is why we have healthcare. Because the majority of people will want healthcare for themselves. The means of production is decided by us. What you're saying is bullshit capitalist speak for this, for Marxism, for communism. What we advocate for are communities be able to decide what is implemented, right? Us owning the means of production. This fairy tale that he's talking about doesn't exist under capitalism and under your party. It will be dictated by the people on top.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue. Keep listening, folks. Keep listening.
They start with the premise of ideology and say all our members have to believe this. We don't think that's the correct theory of the case.
Then that's not a party.
Disaffected Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they're often mistaken as...
Huh?
We already highlighted this logical fallacy that, like you say, well, people think we all have to agree. Well, what if I disagree with that concept? What if I disagree with that? What do you do? How we decide this? You guys see how serious this party is? That you don't think about. Oh, we believe we should have no strict ideology. You just believe whatever you want. Your party. Hey, I'm a member of the party. I believe we should have ideology. Oh, we disagree with that, Nick. Oh, I thought you had no purity test. Trying to cancel me. They're trying to cancel me. Anyway, go ahead.
They're trying to make it into a big tent party. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Centrist, and they're actually not. In fact, my own politics are left and right. I joke I'm for greater gun control but lower taxes. Find me a party where I can exercise both of those principles. It doesn't exist. That's the theory of the case for the new Forward Party. It's something that has never been done before.
What's the plan to build it out? I'd see you're focusing on congressional races first, not presidential at all.
Well, actually, we're focusing on mayorships and county commissions and state legislative races. And I think your intro in terms of recognizing the failures of the past, those were all parties that started by saying, we're going to chase the shiny object and try to elect a president. That is not the premise of the Forward Party. The Forward Party does not have designs on 2024, does not have a plan on 2024. The Forward Party is looking to start a durable, viable, sustainable political party in all 50 states, which means 50 different independent parties aggregated into a national platform. We already have elected officials tonight, since last night's announcement, contacting the Forward Party about changing their party affiliation. They're ready for something different.
Hey, how are you going to get people in Birmingham, as you put it, and Boston to come together on a presidential candidate? Because if this works, which you say it can, eventually you got to do that.
Yeah, well, you would see a primary. A party would have to have a primary. But look, I think what
Hang on. He said you would have to have a primary. But how would you determine who is the candidate for your primary? It's based on consensus, right? That means that that person has to appeal to the majority of what everybody wants. Isn't that a purity test?
Exactly.
But didn't they say they didn't want to do purity tests? I mean, let's let David continue.
brings these communities and all Americans together are some fundamental truths. We naturally believe in economic opportunity, personal liberty, defense of democracy, and should an independent candidate emerge that represents those values or a ticket, then the Forward Party would have assets to lend to that candidate. But Shep, the one thing the Republicans and Democrats do in all 50 states is make it very hard to get legal recognition and ballot access. So a group out there.
That part is true. That part is true. The Democrats and Republicans do make it difficult to get ballot access. That's the one thing with David Jolly I will agree with.
There today that would say we're going to get access in 24 is lying to you. That's not the case. That's why the Forward Party is focusing down ballot races up into state legislatures and ultimately the Congress and the Senate.
Something to keep an eye on. Watch it for it in your community. David Jolly, nice.
So I wanted to share that. Now, did you guys pick out any policy positions? Because Shepard Smith asked him specifically about policy positions. Did you guys pick out anything? Anybody in the chat? Please.
After watching that clip, my initial analysis is 100% true. I told you guys it was a theory on how this third party is just there to trick otherwise people who don't follow politics that closely but want a third party to vote for them. That interview made it so clear. This is obviously a party that wasn't really thought through that well. And the fact that he's allowed to go on MSNBC, right? And now I got a ton of criticisms of Howie Hawkins. I grilled him in an interview on his channel. But one of the reasons why I voted for him was because of Angela Walker, who should have been on top of the ticket. Angela Walker was a black woman, was a truck driver. She was a working class person who Howie Hawkins left, and she was dynamite when it comes to discussing why we should lead a two-party duopoly, especially as the first ever black woman vice president, right? Potentially. You notice they did invite her on MSNBC to spread the word about the Green Party. But they invite him on MSNBC because they know he sounds like a clown. They want people for first thoughts when it comes to the third party is being Yang's party. So that will turn them off third parties because Andrew Yang's third party is fucking trash. Right? So
yeah.
Back to you.
My question is, Nick Carducci says, where should I register Saver Party to recognize it nationally beyond truncated wholesale tax committee? He was talking about lower taxes and gun rights. Question to you, Nick, because you say you see why I'm disabled. Lower taxes for whom? I didn't get a specific on that. What type of gun rights? Exactly what type of gun rights is he advocating for? I didn't hear anything like that. So therefore, my question is that when it comes to the consensus that has to be made among people. We already have a consensus among many different policies. For instance, what about healthcare? I didn't see that on their site. So when it comes to healthcare, are they going to be for single-payer healthcare or a nationalization of healthcare? Because most people, at least when it comes to single-payer healthcare, actually agree on that. Are they going to have that on their site, right? What about things like, for instance, gun rights? Because guess what? Everybody wants to talk about gun rights for citizens, but they never want to talk about the guns in the hands of police officers. They never want to talk about that.
Can I chime in with this?
Please.
This whole thing about lower taxes. I got to do some education for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you asking for lower taxes? And I'm asking this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Is the idea you want lower taxes so you can have more spending power? Is that the idea? Because that's what most people think when they ask for lower taxes. But according to libertarians and Republicans, they want lower taxes, but they also want you to pay a healthcare premium. This is why study after study showed that Medicare for All will save American households money, because people who make over $30,000 or more will have their taxes raised, but they will pay less as a premium, right? So if we had a society where we had free healthcare, who cares about where your money is going? Who cares about the end of the day financial breakdown of where the money is going? It's how much money you have left. So doesn't matter if your money going to a corporation or a landlord. The government or a landlord. Doesn't matter if your money going to the government or to corporations, right? So if we had the way if we had rent relief, if we had paid child maternity leave, in Russia they get paid child maternity leave. In other countries they get paid child care. Do you guys know how much child care costs a family? I saw prices I couldn't believe. I don't have kids, but child care bankrupts people. So do you want lower taxes that go to the government, or do you want to pay $20,000 a year for child care? Because your government doesn't provide that. So what we got to educate people on is the difference between a private tax and a public tax. So if we don't have Medicare for All, you are being privately taxed because of your healthcare insurance. Because we don't have rent control, you being privately taxed because of that. Us not having child care, you're being privately taxed to pay for child care. We don't got paid family maternity leave. You're being taxed for that. Yeah. We need to train people to think about in terms of resources. What are you spending your resources on?
Yeah.
Like if we actually had a functional society where we had central planning that was actually taking care of the people, there wouldn't be a need to call for lower taxes. And I understand the need to do that. You call for lower taxes because you need more spending power. But you need more spending power so you can afford your health insurance. You need more spending power so you can afford your insane rent. I hope you guys understand the concept. I don't want to rant about it forever, but that's the concept. And I see this person typed it out here. The concept of private versus public taxes.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend 30% of your money on taxes, but you got health care, you got housing, you got great schooling, great roads, great infrastructure? Like I changed my tire like twice in 1 year because the roads in Kansas and Missouri are so bad, your tires will get fucked up. So instead of paying more in taxes to take care of the roads, you're spending more on fixing your car because the roads are underfunded. I live right next to Kansas where they had a great libertarian experiment. A lot of great examples in the comments. I love you guys. Like clean water. Imagine, and this happened in Detroit and Flint, where a lot of people develop health issues because they drunk polluted water.
Yep.
Now, wouldn't it be better if you spend a little bit more in taxes so we had clean water instead of you spending a ton of money fixing the problems that come from dirty water?
Yeah.
I know a friend. Sorry, I passed right to you, JB. But I know a friend. He used to sell water purification systems. That was his job as a salesman. And those things. And the thing is, it was great. It was a great product. It was super expensive. No one in the working class can afford it, but it was amazing. I put this water purification system on my sink. The water tastes amazing. I can't drink out my sink because the water's so bad, right? But that thing was expensive. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars, depending on what water you get. So shouldn't we just spend more on taxes so we had clean water instead of people had to spend insane amount of money for water purification systems? Do you guys understand the concept I'm saying? And let me wrap this. Yeah, I understand. MMT. I do understand this concept, but there's so many people who don't understand MMT that we got to break down. We got to break down the idea of a private and public tax as well. So yeah, MMT is legit, and people need to learn it. But we got to break this idea that by having socialism, by having healthcare, that is going to bankrupt people. No, you are saving money because we are having an intelligent central planning system. But that's maybe I'll talk about another day. I don't want to rant too long. JB?
And I get it. You know, the thing is that my thing is there was no true focus on actual policy, right? And it's basically the Forward Party is basically just an amalgamation of basically salad talk. You know, it's just like word salad. It's like, because if you read everything in there, it's word salad. Everything that David Jolly said was word salad. If you listen to what Andrew Yang says, it's word salad. Basically, all these, you know, all these different trigger words that make you think, oh, it's something different, it's something new. The thing is that how many people don't even know that there are other third parties that have been out there for years? And they don't even know what the policies are. And if you were to bring some of these people who are in these third parties, these more worker-centered third parties, like, look, let them bring on Shama Sawan, representing Socialist Alternative, and ask her about the policies, policy for policy. She'll go down the list, boom, 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 just like that. Ask somebody from the Green Party, invite Angela Walker on, be like, so what are the policies of the Green Party? She'll go issue for issue, boom, 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 boom. And the thing is that, you know, they could do that, but the Forward Party can't. And yet the Forward Party gets a lot more attention than these established third parties that are actually more centered on workers, are actually more centered on actually uplifting poor people like myself. And so this is why it's a grift. Because guess what? They definitely got that donate button really presented really nicely on the Forward Party website. And so that's what it is. Because guess what? At the end of the day, all they're doing is they're just taking, instead of you going to the Entenmann store or the Little Debbie store and buying from either the Little Debbie store or the Entenmann store, they have a supermarket in the middle that sells Entenmann's and Little Debbie's, and you get it from there instead of their actual store. But you're still getting the same product at the end of the day versus going to a store, alternatively, that has even better products than them, and then you can get it from that other alternative store. But instead, they're basically, the Forward Party is just a middleman for getting the same people from either part of the duopoly. So what, I beg the question, is the difference? That's the question. Are you going to get the Little Debbie cake, or are you going to get the Entenmann's? Or do you want something different, right? Like, look, I want Tasty Cake. I want to get Tasty Cake because I think Tasty Cake's, well, my family's from Philly, so Tasty Cake is the bomb. But anyways, I want to go with Tasty Cake. But they're like, no, you can't get that. Tasty Cake is horrible. Why? Well, we don't need to know why. Just get either Entenmann's or Little Debbie. Either go to one of their stores or come to our store. So that's basically what it is.
JB, we're 90 minutes. You mind if I share my clip? I think
Sure, yeah.
This is very relevant to what we're talking about too. That's why I want to share it now. I was about to do this on the Nick and CJ show, but I'm super interested in seeing JB response. Mm-hmm. I still might play for CJ to see what he says too, but let me frame this segment this way. Okay. Do that just for editing purposes, just so I can cut the clip later. I learned the little tricks. Right. So, all right, let me start this way. So we explained how the Forward Party is this scheme by the establishment to trick people to supporting this clown third party. Mm-hmm. But after seeing our breakdown of the Forward Party and seeing why it's a joke, I want to discuss the reactions to the idea of people forming third parties and the liberal meltdown at third parties in general, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
So as we get closer to 2022, I told you guys the liberals are going to start melting down at the idea of anyone not falling in line with their cult. So Jill Stein was just trending like 2 days ago because of Andrew Yang. Susan Sarandon was trending because these people have been radicalized by MSNBC and CNN to be against democracy. So they hate anyone who runs third party. So I think that's enough to preface this because I think the video is crazy enough to speak on its own, and I can't wait to get your reaction to this, JB, and then we break down.
Okay.
I'm gonna share let me share my screen here. All right, and then let's dive into it.
Andrew Yang does not care about democracy. If Andrew Yang cared about democracy, he would bow out, he would cancel his Forward Party, and he would help the Democrats win in the midterms. But he's not doing that because his ego needs him to be the leader of his followers. And his followers are going to be when he siphons off voters from the Democrats, which will not work because Forward Party and third parties never win elections. In fact, they never even receive over 5% of the electorate. And Andrew Yang knows this. So what is he doing? He is picking apart the Democratic coalition to please his own ego. And what's the cost? American democracy. So guys, mark this video. Andrew Yang, if you think he's bad now, he's going to get much worse. Do not listen to Andrew Yang. Ignore him. Ignore the Forward Party and continue to support Democrats. We cannot afford to waste any time on these third party candidates. Andrew Yang does not care about democracy. If Andrew Yang...
So this is the tweet that he said as he posted this unhinged video where he comes out as a fascist against democracy. Isn't that funny? He said we got to protect democracy, but I'm against the democracy because we shouldn't have third parties. Also, that thing he said where third parties don't win, that is not true. Green parties have won local races all over the country.
Yo.
Now let me read the tweet and I'll get your thoughts, JB. Look, this is the tweet. Because the tweet is just as bad as the video. He said, I'm sick of Andrew Yang. I'm sick of the Forward Party. I'm sick of third parties. Closet Republican grifters like Jill Stein. I'm a ride or die Democrat because you're either a Democrat or you're with the fascists. No, sorry. He said you're either with the Democrats or you're with the fascists. JB, you want to take it first? You guys see the psyop that they're doing? They're trying to paint Jill Stein and serious people who got policies based on consensus, like the Green Party do. They're trying to paint them with Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. But sorry, JB, go ahead.
This young Doc Brown from Back to the Future is absolutely patently wrong. First of all, if you studied history, you would know that the most successful third party in the history of the United States is the Republican Party. They were a third party. Abraham Lincoln was a third party candidate. And look, so that is one. Number two, all right, people like Dr. Jill Stein, who was in the Green Party, actually had policies and they actually won seats within the United States. They are an established third party and they actually have policies that they actually run on. And on top of it, the Green Party is farther from the Republicans than the Democrats are. In fact, the Democrats are in a Venn diagram that is completely overlapping Republicans by 90%, versus the Green Party has no overlap at all. So with that being said, he's patently and absolutely wrong. And I don't know.
You guys want to see this game? I'm gonna show you guys who he is, and then we watch it one more time because it's a short video, and then I'll give you guys my take on it. But look at this. This is why I want to show you guys this video. Look at this guy because I've seen this guy all over Twitter. 74,000 followers. He the UCLA political science Gen Z activist. This guy has been boosted by the Democrat Party, and he's the guy who's gonna rally support of Gen Z into the Democrat Party. That's his entire shtick. Now, when you guys hear that speech that he gave, does that sound like something that's gonna influence Gen Z. If you hear that video and then you was about to vote third party and then you vote Democrat because of that video, you're the biggest cuck that has ever lived. I'm sorry. Now, one thing I want to mention as well regarding the video, and then I'll play it one more time because it's a short video. I want to get fresh in your minds before I do my breakdown, right? Remember when you said, JB, when they interviewed the Forward Party, how there was no policy that was discussed? As I play this again, I want you guys to realize that during his appeal to get people to vote for Democrats instead of third parties, no policy is mentioned. Watch it. We will play it again and watch how he mentioned no.
Andrew Yang does not care about democracy. If Andrew Yang cared about democracy, he would bow out, he would cancel his Forward Party, and he would help the Democrats win in the midterms.
Pause.
He's not doing that.
If Andrew Yang cared about democracy, then he would support the Democratic Party. That is not what supporting democracy means. He absolutely has no idea that actually expanding the amount of parties that we have that we can vote on is expanding democracy. Therefore, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
JB, you tell me that we don't believe in democracy, we believe in one party rule. He's literally advocating for one party rule right now. Don't make no third parties. You help the Democrats. We're going to save democracy by creating a one party rule. So unhinged. Anything you want to ask, JB, before I continue?
Please continue.
All right, let me mute myself real quick.
Andrew Yang does not care about democracy. If Andrew Yang cared about democracy, he would bow out, he would cancel his Forward Party, and he would help the Democrats win in the midterms. But he's not doing that because his ego needs him to be the leader of his followers. And his followers are going to be when he siphons off voters from the Democrats, which will not work because Forward Party and third parties never win elections. In fact, they never even receive over 5% of the electorate. And Andrew Yang knows this. So what is he doing? He is picking apart the Democratic coalition to please his own ego. And what's the cost? American democracy. So guys, mark this video. Andrew Yang, if you think he's bad now, he's going to get much worse. Do not listen to Andrew Yang. Ignore him. Ignore the Forward Party and continue to support Democrats. We cannot afford to waste any time on these third party.
1.21 gigawatts!
This is what he's saying. Don't support Andrew Yang and third parties. Pledge loyalty to the Democrats. Say it. You say you're loyal to the Democrats. Raise one hand and say you will help the Democrats win. Because we about to save democracy, baby. We about to save fucking democracy. You pledge support to this party. You pledge fealty to this party because we save democracy. You guys see how unhinged these blue MAGA people are? And I want to introduce this concept because I voted for Joe Stein in 2016, the same way I voted for Holly Hawkins and Angela Walker in 2020, and I would do it again. I would do it again, just like that. You guys want to know why? Because I'm speaking personally. I'm sure you guys got your own personal experience as well. But there is no party in this country that is not anti-Black. Every single party in this country is for funding our fascist police system. Every single party is for siphoning wealth to Wall Street via corporate bailouts. No party is for increasing the minimum wage. All parties are for funding the proxy war in Ukraine. Both parties are for escalating tensions against China that will start World War III. There is no, and you mentioned, just like the Forward Party, there is no policy position that was offered in that video. And also in that video, there was no attempt to be persuasive. You notice that?
No.
Do you guys think anyone who voted third party is here in that video and then they're going to change their vote? Because the purpose is not to be persuasive. It's to dominate workers. You will fall in line. You will support our ruling class. Or we will disenfranchise you by banning all third parties. Now, I want to be 100% clear because there are some third party advocates who I believe get this wrong. I interviewed Howie Hawkins quite a long time, a few months ago on a third party summit. And he was one of the people that's saying, yeah, I think we need to support a third party, but I think Democrats are better than Republicans. That undermines the entire point of a third party. And I asked him, how are you going to get people to support a third party if you believe the Democrats are better than Republicans? Now, I support third parties because the Democrat Party is the most effective evil, as Glenn Ford explained. They are the most effective evil. Clinton deregulated Wall Street. Clinton cut poverty. Barack Obama extended the Bush tax cuts. He created and expanded the border crisis that now is going under Joe Biden, right? Mm-hmm. So the Democrat Party is the most effective evil, and they play a single role in the duopoly. The messaging that comes from third parties cannot be that Democrats are better than Republicans, but we got to support third parties for some reason. Like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah.
So my position is very simple. This is why I tweeted out today. And this should be the message of anyone who advocates for third party. Because they say, like the video says, if you vote for third party, you are sabotaging Democrats. Good.
Yep, good.
Yeah. In fact, and
they sabotage themselves.
And I want to get your thoughts on this as well, JB. But I noticed a lot of third party people, they tend to apologize for their votes. They tend to do stuff like, well, technically, Joe Stein didn't cost Hillary Clinton the election because the Libertarian Party got more votes. Which is true. And the fact that Joe Stein didn't cost the Democrat Party because the people who voted for Joe Stein wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton anyway. That's true. But I don't even bother explaining this to the people. My position is I don't support the Democrat Party because they are anti-Black, they are capitalist, they are cop lovers, they are imperialists. And we should be unapologetic about that. And if I am to vote, which this is not the case because I live in a red state, but if I was to vote that costs the Democrat Party, then good. That should be our message. Because if I cost the Democrat Party, then you guys should change the goddamn party to get my votes. None of this shit. Well, I support third party, but third party is not hurting Democrats. We need to drop that talking point. It does not matter if Joe Stein cost Hillary Clinton or not. She didn't, but it does not matter. We should be unapologetic supporting third parties and not giving a fuck about the results of the two-party duopoly. Maybe you have anything you want to add?
No, I completely agree with you. Because the thing is that if they really wanted to get our votes, then maybe they should change their platform and actually fight for it. But they don't. So therefore, why am I going to waste, my vote on a party that if you get one, it's like a 2-for-1 deal. If I vote for a Democrat, I'm going to get Republican policies. And if I vote for a Republican, I'm going to get Republican policies. So why am I going to vote for any one of them? I'm going to go outside. I'm going to choose the third option. If you're going to tell me, do you want to die by drowning or die by burning? I'm going to say, I don't want to die at all. And that's exactly what we're doing. We don't want to die at all. So guess what? We're choosing the third option. And people want to boo-hoo us about going to third option. Like, no. Guess what? If somebody like Hillary Clinton lost, somebody like Joe Biden lost, okay. Let that be a lesson to y'all. Don't look. What did we say back in 2020? What was the phrase? Fuck around and what? Find out. Guess what? Y'all fucked around. Now y'all finding out. Because guess what? Whether our lives are shit with Democrats or shit with Republicans, it's going to stay the same way. So guess what? We're going to vote for third party and just hope for the best. And if it doesn't happen, well, we know we're getting shit either way. We know it's not going to change. And I am convinced. Look, this dude convinced me. We live in a fascist system already. It's just one is more polite than the other. But they both do the exact same thing. So I'm damned if I do blue, and I'm damned if I don't red. So why in the hell am I going to damn myself even further by just choosing between the two? It doesn't make any sense. So guess what? This is one of the reasons why people like you and me and all of RBN, and shout out to Sabby, she was out doing some work on the ground today, talking about doing direct action out there, right? And then when push comes to shove, when it comes time for that Tuesday in November, well then we'll vote for third party. But for the most part, it is actually getting people's ass out in the street and actually making change in that way. But yeah.
One of the reasons, and this last time I was playing, I'll wrap this segment up.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I advocate against third parties, well, I advocate for, not against, I advocate for third parties, is because our two-party duopoly is ran by criminals. There are people who they misrepresent, at least what my position as a third-party voter. I hear people say stuff like this, oh, you guys are protest voting. Oh, you guys are just throwing a tantrum because you're not getting anything that you want. You hear this all the time. Did what Sam Sanders said. Oh, you can't protest vote. You can't just get mad and protest for a third party because you're upset you're not getting what you want. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of my position.
Yeah.
I am not mad, and I'm speaking for myself. I am not mad because the Democrats don't do enough for us. You guys realize I don't give a fuck that Joe Biden not giving us a public option. I knew he wasn't going to give us a public option in the first place. That is not my criticism of the Democrat Party. My criticism and the reason why I hate the Democrat Party is because they are genocide-enabling, cop-loving fascists who have crushed the working class with their policies. Are we clear? I am not mad because they don't support Medicare for all. I am mad because they have waged a war against my community, Latinos, Muslims, and anyone who's not a white dominant capitalist. That's why I would never support that party, ever. So let's talk about electoral politics. Because I don't believe that electoral politics is going to create revolutionary change. But if you ask me how much energy that we should put towards electoral politics, I would say maybe 10 to 15%. Not a lot of our attention. So what is that 10 to 15%? Let's break this down. What is that 10 to 15%? And once again, I can only speak as a black person here, right? I explained that both parties are anti-black. The Democratic Party is running unapologetically on an anti-black platform, including increasing the police budgets even more by proposing a crime bill that adds 100,000 police officers. Why do you think the Democratic Party is doing this? Voting for the lesser of two evils throws away your leverage as a community. Because if they know they are voting for you, they have no reason to offer policy to your community. So, since the Democrats have received around 80% to 90% of the black vote for the last few decades, that's why they don't come up with a black agenda. Why should we come up with a black agenda when they know we're going to vote for them? So, instead, and this is coming directly from the Biden administration in the Democratic strategy. Their strategy, Chuck Schumer himself said, he said for every every Democrat we lose, we're going to pick up a suburban housewife. That is what Chuck Schumer said. For every Democrat we lose, we're going to pick up someone in the suburbs. So since they know black people are going to vote for them, they are appealing to policies that appeal to the white suburbs so that they can get the white women who vote for Trump instead of Hillary Clinton, which majority of white women vote for Trump over Hillary. So by voting for the lesser two evils, you are punting your leverage away. Now, this is the only application of electoral politics, right? So in the Green Party supported cutting the military budget by 75%. It supported reparations, supported doubling Social Security, supporting healthcare. But let's focus on one of those. Let's focus on reparations for now, which the Democratic Party don't support. Imagine if black people decided to make the Green Party the Black People Party, and Green Party activists, including the people on the highest levels in which I talked to, they said they will be more than happy to let this happen when I talk about this. So if black people took over the Green Party and put forward this unapologetically progressive agenda, let me show you guys this agenda, because I'm gonna put Howie Hawkins Green Party agenda. And I'm gonna show you guys. I've showed this many times. Here it is right here. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen right here. You guys see this platform? Let's see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, there we go. This is the tweet version of it. So let me make it bigger. I'm going to read a little bit of this off. Income guarantee, $20 minimum wage, homes for all, Medicare for all, National Health Service, free long education. Now, this is a better version of what the progressives advocate for. But now when you look at the right, these are things that AOC and the squad, they will never call for. 75% military spending cut because they actually take climate change seriously. Ending regime change. Close all U.S. bases abroad. Right? These are the policies of the Green Party. So if as a working class movement, even if they don't win, if we can pull 15 to 20% of the vote toward this party, you can pull politicians who want to win on your side. But they're not going to do that if you vote for them mindlessly. If you vote for them mindlessly, you get what happened in the Biden administration. People are confused about why Biden is dropping all his campaign promises. He did that because Bernie and the progressives voted for him without any question. So why would they give you what they want?
Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
So the 10% and 50% electoral politics that I believe we should engage in is extracting concessions via hostile strategies, not strategies of taking on the Democratic Party. We need to support third parties, boost their numbers up so we can have this militia, and then demand concessions from the politicians who want to win. And that is not a large percentage of what I think we should focus on. That's 10%. But if you're going to engage in electoral politics, that is what you should be trying to do. Be policy-based. Not vote for a two-party duopoly because that is counterproductive. If you vote for the Democratic Party, you are not voting for the lesser two evils. You are not voting for someone that you rather fight. You are giving them permission to pillage and assault your community.
Yep.
Anyway, I know I ran for a while. Sorry, JB. Go ahead. I know I'll probably outbounce because we're about 2 hours in, but go ahead, JB.
Yeah. And I got something I want to share towards the end, but if you got to bounce, that's cool. But my thing is this whole talking down about third parties. If you truly do think that by the time you get to a point where you think that democracy is under attack, it's probably already gone. It's just gone. It's already too late. And the thing is that, you get a lot of people who will, talk down about third parties. And it's like, I try to be kind to those people because they have been brainwashed into thinking that anything outside of the duopoly they managed to get brainwashed to thinking that it's anti-democratic for some reason. And it's like, no, it's not democratic. It's just like you and I believe that democracy should be in the workplace, right? We actually believe in an expansion of democracy even into your job. Both parties, the red and the blue ones, do not want you to have democracy in the workplace. Hell, they don't want you to have democracy in your country. Why? Because guess what? They work together. They want the corporations to have rulership over you, right? That being said, they're anti-democratic. So when we talk about actual true democracy, we're actually talking about expanding democracy to the workplace, getting our military bases out of these countries so that they can actually have their own national autonomy to choose who they want without our country basically coming in and dictating to them who they should and shouldn't have, even though they did it democratically. Who are we to tell another country who they can and can't have? Oh, because it's about their resources, and we just got to have their resources either for very cheap or nothing at all. Craig Kid, thank you so much for the super chat. They still call Nader a spoiler. Spoilers are assholes voting red and blue, holding us back. Craig, I'm going to add to you. Voting for blue means you're voting for red, because guess what? They're all part of the same party. So if you're voting blue, guess what? You are voting for Republicans too. And how do I know this? Hang on. How do I know this? Because a report came out that Democrats are literally giving money to far-right Republicans, thinking that they can build them up to make them seem like they're beyond the pale, so to actually give them more attention and more favorability. Guess what Hillary Clinton did? She did the Pied Piper strategy. What was the Pied Piper strategy? She actually uplifted people like Ted Cruz, Ben Carson, and Donald Trump. And since they uplifted them, then guess what? Guess who won in 2016? All because Hillary Clinton decided to uplift him because she thought that he was so beyond the pale that he would lose easily, and he won. So guess what? The Democrats are doing that again. They know that strategy failed. Guess what? They know that strategy is going to fail again because they are counting on it to elect more Republicans.
Yeah, I actually love the framing here, and I'm gonna steal that. We need to start calling the spoilers the people who vote for the Republican or Democratic Party. They say, "Oh, you voting for third party? You just trying to spoil the race?" Like, nah, y'all niggas spoiling the race by voting for the two-party duopoly.
Yeah,
we can have our third party candidate. We can have our third party candidate right now. If it wasn't for you fucking spoilers, we could have a candidate with health care that support Medicare for all. We could have a candidate that support ending the war, but you guys are spoiling it. I love that. I'm gonna take that. That's sassy. I love that talking point.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Once again, Craig. We got another one from Tom. Russian flag. They can censor you for that long. Yeah, dude, I'm surprised. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's a communist flag, not a Russian flag. But I'm surprised we haven't been censored yet. I haven't been like It's gonna happen. This is why we told you guys to subscribe to us on Rumble and Rofkin as well, because we small enough to fly under the radar right now. But once RBN to 30K becomes successful, they pull it up here. Once this becomes successful, once RBN to 50K becomes successful, and let's hope RBN to 100K becomes successful, they're gonna come after us 100%. So thank you for that super chat. Anything you want to add to that? Anything you want to add to the super chat, JB?
No. I'm gonna say this very carefully. They neutralize anyone that's a threat to the establishment already. So, yeah.
So yeah, I am planning a story on this. I was about to do it Saturday, and something came up, so I did on Calling instead. Maybe on Nick and CJ tomorrow, because this is a very, very significant story. Thank you for the chat. Gold Star FBI raided I still not say because I've only been reading it. That's Uhuru House, ran by the African People's Socialist Party for conspiring to have U.S. citizens act as illegal agents of Russiagate. And let me just quickly say this. I'll pass it back to you, JB. And then I'll probably have to get out here. This was always the end result of Russiagate. I'm going to do my coverage on this tomorrow. I have to cover this. I just haven't had a chance in the last few days to do a segment on it. So they raided a group of African American socialists in Florida and blamed them and said they are Russian agents pushing Russian propaganda, which I explained to you guys a long time ago. The establishment, they use Russiagate, they use white supremacy, and they use terrorism as an excuse to expand state power. And then once they expand state power, they turn it against the left, workers, and black people. I have said this over and over again. I have tweeted about this over and over again. Whenever these shit-lived progressives always ask, Nick, why are you speaking out against Russiagate so much? Because I will tell them Russiagate is going to come home, and it's not going to come home to white people. They're going to use this to expand the power of the state to crack down on dissonance, which is fascism, which I was trying to explain to Destiny and many of these Western chauvinists. We live in a fascist country that's cracking down on dissent. So that's my take on that. I'm going to be quick because I'm going to do a whole breakdown on this on Monday. I know it took me a while, but I haven't had a chance to do a stream since this story really popped. So I'm going to cover this maybe tomorrow. So I'll pass it back to you, JB.
Yeah. Hang on. Brian Grisby says, you are not a threat because people have been so propagandized they have a hard time understanding what you're saying. I am a 70-year-old white guy in Florida. I know. I cannot get anyone to watch. Yeah, 38-year-old black guy here in Florida. So the thing is that we got to keep talking. And sometimes this also means talking to our neighbors and talking to people that we know and using our words wisely as far as policies. So see, when you talk about the policies, that's when people are like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good. You know, like me actually having a democratic say in my workplace and my job and actually having the opportunity to truly actually own where I work, that's actually not bad. Actually not having medical bills and having, you know, healthcare like every other part of the, you know, developed world, actually, yeah, that's actually pretty good. People not being shot to death by police, you know, and treading on us by means of state violence. Yeah, I'm definitely down with that. When you put it to them in those types of ways, people will agree with you. Thing is
yeah, Brian, I have a great track record with converting, even conservatives. I live in red state. You notice how in your comment, he knows that you said you couldn't get them to watch. Why do you think that is? Because they know they listen to us. And they know after listening to us break down U.S. propaganda, they will either be forced to change their opinion or they'll be forced to live with the thought that knowing that they're intellectually inconsistent. So, yes, there are people that will refuse to watch us because they're afraid of us lifting the brainwashing propaganda. There's so many people who are just happy to be propagandized. But if they do watch, and I'm not saying I'll convert everybody. I have not. I'm not trying to say that. But I am great at flipping people to be anti-establishment. So if you listen to me, you either got to acknowledge that we are right or you got to acknowledge that you're intellectually inconsistent. And based on your comment, you say you couldn't get them to watch because they're afraid that we will deprogram them.
Yeah.
So that's
but
anyway,
Brian,
I got to go, Jay. I'm starving.
Okay.
You mind? I'll just pass it to you, and I'll be watching. And by the way, I'll be back. Nick and CJ show tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Thanks for having me on, JB. You guys, I had to crash the show every once in a while. Have a good one. Have a good one, fam.
Thanks, man. By the way, Brian, just to let you know, keep up the good work in talking to people. You know, you may not even get somebody right then and there, but you're planting seeds of letting people know the power that they actually have. And that's what's important. You know what I mean? You're actually informing people around you. And so, you know, you may not see the results just yet, but just keep up the good work, man. I applaud you for that. By the way, Vinny S. Thrill, thank you very much for the super chat. Abolish political parties. I agree with that too. You know, we definitely have to do that, you know, so I appreciate it. Now, there is before I go, there is a video that I would like to show. So there is, man, there was something else that I was thinking about showing, but I'll show it next time. But this is, I'll start off by saying this. I believe that art is a wonderful vehicle to get us to grow in our understanding of the power that we have as people. With that being said, I think that we all should support people who do art that goes against imperialism, support art that goes against people being houseless, art that supports us all having healthcare, art that supports us not having to deal with a tyrannical force, whether it's in the workplace, tyrannical forces that are infringing upon our privacy, things like that. So I want to uplift people like that. So, by the way, if you're an artist and you are trying to put art, you know, like this out there, whether it's, you know, music, spoken word, whether it's, painting, sculptures, photography, you know, different things regarding art, right? Please, let me know and we'll give you a platform, because this also will help people to learn and understand and grow, because that's what also helps push things forward, right? Now, there is a person by the name of Jesse Jett, who is a friend, and Joe, STFU shitlib, actually they actually did a song, right, called Powerless, but they also linked it with some images. Basically, now I say it's a music video, and I want to show this and shout out to Jesse Jett and Joe. Shout out to you guys for basically making this beautiful collaboration. So I'm going to show this, and I want you guys to take a look at this. And I think it's a powerful message, and I just want you guys, if you are so inclined, even if you're not somebody as an artist, but you want to collaborate with somebody to, say, do the visuals for someone, let's collaborate. Let's do something like that, because that's what helps. So here you go. This is Powerless by Jesse Jett.
They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains, bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph R. Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren. Say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights. Forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near. And all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't.
So yeah, that was by Jesse Jett. It's called Powerless. Actually, I should share. Actually, let me share the link to it on YouTube so that you guys can also see the music video yourselves if you guys want to play it on hold on, so that you guys can have that there. All right. Okay, so I just shared it also on YouTube. I don't think there's anybody watching on Rockfin. Yeah, well, yeah, people are watching on Rockfin, but I don't see anybody in chat. But there it is on YouTube, so you guys can take a look at it. But yeah, so this is the thing, you know, there is so many of us that are going through a lot as far as our power is being stripped of us. And so if you know, can use whatever voice you have, whether it's through talking about, you know, things like this to family, friends, what have you, being on social media and even keeping this message going, talking to neighbors, family, friends, people like that. Or it could even be, you know, through your art, you know, write a poem, make a sculpture, do a painting, something, you know, and, you know, and shout out to everybody who's organizing for Camp Dada. This is part of what they're doing too, you know, and so this is something that they're doing as well. So, you know, something in order to help awaken people to the power that they really have. So I just wanted to also do that. Shout out again to the Indie News Network. If you're not following Indie Left, please make sure to follow Indie Left. They do great work, as well as to Jesse Jett and Joe STF, you shiplib. Please make sure to give them a follow as well. I just want to thank every single person for watching this stream. If you guys have not liked yet, then please make sure to give me a like. And so as well, if you guys have not subscribed to our Patreon, please, it's patreon.com/revolutionary blackout. Anywho, I just want to thank you all for joining me today. And let me see. Anything else that I need to include? Absolutely not. Be sure to watch me on Tuesday on my channel. That is the JB Font channel on YouTube. I will be having on Savvy Sabs as my guest on my show this Tuesday. So I hope you guys will be able to make it for that, because it's going to be a good one. And we're also going to be discussing a little bit further about her interview with Brokana. We're going to talk about that a little bit more too. So that's going to be interesting. And we'll cover some news topics for the week too. So also, oh, by the way, I need to get on this. So it's because I was in the hospital and I was just like out of it. But I'm going to be doing the reading and uploading for Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. Speaking of literary works, I will be continuing this on Rockfin exclusively, just to let you guys know. So you guys are looking for this, it's on my Rockfin channel. And I will continue also in reading of Dirty Truths by Michael Parenti. I will also be continuing that as well on YouTube. So just let you guys know. And I have some ideas for other people that I want to read as far as theory goes. So I'm going to be getting in on that soon too. So I want you guys to continue to do the best you can with yourselves by making sure that you have joy within your life, because joy is revolutionary. Please make sure to laugh and just have a, try to have a life better than what the oppressors want you to have. So, because they really just don't want you to have a good life at all. With that being said, I am going to bow out. Water your plants. Water yourselves. Leave the world better than you found it. Smoke them if you got them. And support artists that actually are putting something out there to help you fight for something better. And stay away from the Forward Party, because they ain't going forward nowhere. They ain't trying to take you nowhere. Stay away from them. They're just a bunch of grifters. Bye. Love you. Mwah. Forehead kisses. I got you. Toasty.